guys, what's up? It's Dominique, aka That Therapist. I am the lead clinician and CEO for a group practice known as Yellowbird Counseling. Y'all like my shirt? I do want y'all to see it. Yes. Ethical but unorthodox is all of what we do at Yellowbird. Ethical, of course, but unorthodox. So you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So what do we do for y'all in this space? Well, every Thursday evening at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, we discuss topics that the general population can relate to and tie it back to how we can all benefit from therapy for reasons outside of having a mental illness. We can benefit from therapy simply and solely because we are human. So because of that, we like to have different themes to these topics. So with it being Men's Health Month this month, the month of June, is also Pride Month. So happy Pride Month, happy Pride Month. But it is Men's Health Month. And so we are going to be discussing different themes surrounding men's health as our educational campaign to that cause, because there's a deficit in the male population for men to engage in proper health care for themselves and proper wellness. And because of that, men live about 5 years less than women do. And they, are at higher rates of other physical diseases because they wait longer than women. That's all. They wait longer. They don't go when they need to. They don't recognize warning signs. So we're going to be talking about those things to help educate men in their health and wellness in the realm of mental health. And so since we're going to be discussing self-care, I could not do this without number 3 coming on. Hey!
Hello, people. Hello.
Y'all know that number 3, Shekinah, really does love self-care. She has a self-care business. So I'm going to let her introduce herself and tell y'all who she is.
Hey, how you doing? My name is Shekinah, aka the Purpose Therapist, aka Purpose Joy, aka the platform that she was just talking about. And it's interestingly enough, this conversation we've actually done on our platform as well with a group of young men. We've done it twice. It's called King's Care. But the conversation was really interesting. I'm very excited to share some of the information that we gathered from those conversations here tonight, and then also some more information that we were able to discuss just in general in our practice and things like that. But yes, that's me, and I'm excited to be here.
Tell them who you are to Yellowbird.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I am a clinician at Yellowbird, and I've been there. My 1-year anniversary was May. No, that's a lie. I've been practicing a year since May 19th, but it's my 1-year anniversary for practicing May 19th, but my 1-year anniversary for being with y'all was February, something like that.
Oh yeah,
February. Yes. But either way,
year 2.
You said what now?
I said you're going on year 2.
It's a thing. It's happening. So, but yeah, so that's what I do. Typically the demographic I see are anywhere from babies. My youngest one is like 3. The oldest is like 45. Whomever, whatever your needs are, we are here to serve you. I am here for that. That is what I'm here for. But I'm a huge advocate for self-care. So I'm very excited again about this conversation today.
Yay. And forget everybody that's like, oh, there's no therapist that can work with everybody. Literally, sometimes our professional journey puts us in that ability to be able to do that. And you can enjoy different populations for different reasons. So for instance, like myself, I worked in foster care the first 6 years of my practice. That's all I wanted to do was work with kids, adolescents, and teens. And then I had to pivot from that job and go work at the hospital with the adults for 2 years. And I did love that too. And so I love them both for different reasons. And so for the people that are like, oh, you have to only work with this specific one client, no. But do you have to continue to educate yourself to facilitate your different areas of interest? Yes. So
very important.
I said what I said.
Period.
So let's talk first about for people, because I know the concept of self-care in general can be abstract. for people, and they don't really know what that means, and they automatically go to self-care activities, which are also great, but it's not just, that's not all self-care is. So could you explain in general what self-care is and what is the benefit of practicing it?
Yes, I'd love to. Thank you for that question. I'm just kidding. But anyway, so um, self-care is all things you do for yourself, anything related to you. And it's a spectrum. It's like it goes from here to over here, and it covers everything from your professional life to your personal life, and your personal relationships. It could be, there's mental self-care, again, there's professional self-care, physical self-care, financial self-care, spiritual self-care. There's self-care all around. So when we're talking about all the things that are about or fall underneath that umbrella, it can be activities, but we really want to focus on, the general aspect of these are the things that you do for you in all of these different areas of your life. So, pedicures and mimosas and, brunch and stuff is cute. That's awesome. Massages or whatever, that's great. Getting groomed and things like that, great. But the real truth is, what are you doing to protect yourself? What are you doing to make sure that you are living your best life in all those different areas? And that's where the self-care piece comes in.
Love it. Love it. Love it. So, did you, and thank y'all, all the people that are doing the thing, but remember there was 2 things you had to do, and if you know, you know. If you're on our Yellowbird community text list, you know, and if you're on the newsletter, then you know, and that's all I'm going to say. There's 2 things that you had to do. So I'm just reminding y'all to do both things. Refer back to your information.
Very important.
Very important. Or you will miss the opportunity. That's all I'm going to say. So, okay, so tell us, if you could break it down, what are areas that you like, human experience areas that we need to be practicing self-care in, or what do men specifically? I'm trying to give a broader and then break it down.
Okay, I got you. Mm-hmm. All right, so let's just go throughout your day. You ready? Let's just do that. All right, so boom, you wake up in the morning, right? And then you decide that you want to brush your teeth and wash your face, maybe take a shower. Physical self-care, okay? That's like that activity, that idea around doing things to make your body feel good, maybe you stretch a little bit. Physical self-care. That is what that is. Being mindful enough to know that, my hip be hurting a little bit. Let me stretch a little before I get ready to go do what I gotta do. All right, boom. Get yourself together, or whatever the case. Maybe you decide to listen to some music, or you listen to a podcast, or you listen to a devotion, or whatever it is that you do in the morning to prepare yourself for the day. Maybe you don't listen to anything at all. You just kind of like zone in. Mental self-care is an opportunity for you to zone in, do the thing you need to do for your brain, to let it do what it, so you can be your best self in that area as far as your brain, right? Boom. All right, so you drive park your car, you go into work, right? Let's say when you get to work, it's somebody named Larry. We're going to give him the name Larry. Larry be trying to talk to you every time. As soon as you get to work, he be coming with all this extra. When you first get there, you don't really want to hear about his weekend. You don't care about the turn up. You're just trying to focus on your job when you get to work, right? All right, so professional self-care looks like, hey, Larry, appreciate you. Good morning. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to talk to you at lunchtime, okay? Let me get myself together at lunchtime. Boundary at work, professional self-care, okay? There we go. Keep going. Woo-woo. Go through your day, you get ready to go, and you're navigating what stuff looks like, and your knee starts to hurt, or whatever the case, or you're feeling a little achy. You might need to step away from something, or you need to stretch. You've been sitting in the chair too long. Okay, again, we back to our physical self-care. This is something that you needed. You need to stretch or whatever. Boom, that's that. Okay, so every time, we could go on and on. Even your lunch. Okay, you made your lunch this week because you're trying to manage your money. Financial self-care. So it's like all these things are different areas of self-care. It's everywhere. It's unavoidable. Okay. You just can't get rid of it. That is, yes.
And so with that being said, we're going to bring it to the men. Why might men not engage in these areas as proactively as they should in order to keep their wellness up in regards to these areas?
Well, I'm happy you asked, Dominique. Let me tell you. So, back in the day, I don't know. I'm sure you took this class, because I had to take this class too. And maybe some of you have taken this class as well. But there's a class about sociology, and sociology talks about gender roles. And these gender roles they're pretty intense, because they give us these ideas about how a person should act in accordance to their gender. Now, as we as a community have evolved, and we get a better understanding. These norms don't really exist. They're just the constructs that have been formed for various reasons that we'll get into it another time. But the point is that these gender roles and these expectations that we put on men, or lack thereof, is the reason why we don't see them engaging in these things. This whole process, we don't realize that some of us do it innately anyway. But that whole idea of me taking time for myself as a man that's supposed to be a provider, supposed to be the one that has it all together, supposed to be the one that is like a rock in a sense. Think about what a rock is. Nothing comes out of it, nothing goes into it. It just sits there. Like that is a rock. And that's like typically what we expect from our.
I like that. Say it again. Tell them what a rock is.
If nothing goes in it, nothing comes out of it. It just sits there. They don't do anything. So like,
who want to be a rock?
Well, nobody want to be no rock, but that's what we expecting these men to be. You supposed to be my rock. You supposed to hold me down. Like, no, nah, that's not how it's supposed. So when we look at like, what you're a human. That's what you are. You're a human being. Okay. That's just let me give you that permission. You're a human. Okay. And that means that you have emotions, you have feelings, and these need to be acknowledged. And not just the emotions and feelings part. You should be able to take a break when it's time for you to take a break. You should be able to have your minute to calm down when it's time for you to have your minute to calm down. Drink some water when you're thirsty. Eat when you're hungry. It's normal. So like, I think that's what that has a lot to do with.
Yes, man. So let's even talk more specifically. What about in regards to men's mental health?
So you remember The Rock, right? So another thing about a rock, do you ever really know where a rock initially comes from? I mean, I don't know about that or anything like that, but do you ever know where a rock initially comes from? Okay, so typically, like if you see something that's like a piece, it's always a piece of something. You don't know where it came from or whatever the case. You just know it's shattered into pieces or whatever, and it's a piece of something. Well, like a man can break, right? And be in pieces, but he's still considered, a man to do the things that he's supposed to do, and not acknowledge the fact that he's broken into pieces. It's still is it still gonna stop the door? Is it still gonna be a rock? It's still gonna sit there? Okay, it's still doing the same function it was doing before. So as long as it's still functioning in that idea that it was before, it doesn't matter if it's in pieces or not. And that's how we do them with their mental health. That's what the conversation has been around your mental health. You're not allowed to address it. Again, you're supposed to be strong. You're not supposed to be talking about anything, whether you broken, shattered, about to fall a piece, whatever. You're supposed to still operate the same way you've been operating, and that's where it's to our detriment. It's to our, especially our Black men. It's to their detriment.
So, to be a man really means to be a rock, a shattered piece of something that nothing goes into and nothing comes out of, and that builds upon our idea from last week that when we described toxic masculinity, you really are saying you want to be a caveman. So you either want to be a caveman or you want to be a rock.
It's not that's the world. This is what the world wants. Not here at Yellowbird. Now, see, a Yellowbird here, we understand that you're a human. Okay, you're a human, and you have feelings, emotions, and everything else, just like everyone else. You walk around, you talk, stuff goes in, stuff comes out, all that stuff. So we get it. Okay, this community gets it, and that's why it's so important that you're in spaces, even that you're allowed to be you and not that expectation. A really intense part, or not intense, but enlightening part of that conversation we had with those men in that talk that we did was the idea of how important community is because of that. Being in places where they feel safe enough to not have to be a rock, and not have to be that caveman that you discussed, and not have to go back to those things, and being able to have places where you can talk about what you need to and get out what you need to. And so when you're partnered with trained professionals who specialize in these things, it gets a lot, easier to do. So yeah.
Tell us, what are some, I know you love these, what are some cognitive distortions that may keep men from engaging in proper mental health?
Woo, child. Okay, I got a list. You ready? All right. So number one at the top, at the very, 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 very top of the list is labeling. Okay. And what do I mean by the labeling? I mean, at some point or sometime, somebody told you that this is who you are, this is how you act, this is what you are. So the list goes like this. You got anger issues because you're a man. You're not supposed to cry or be emotional. You need to be strong because you're a man. All these things, like these ideas around like who you're supposed to be because of labels. And the issues with labels is that they limit your potential. They limit your ability. They limit what your spectrum, how far you stretch, all that stuff. just because of that label. So it's dangerous. They're dangerous. And so if you're one of those people that operate in that label and within that distortion of that labeling, that is where you end up being stuck there. So that's like one of the first ones. Another one is the idea around the shoulds. So the shoulds sound just like they do. I should have done this. I should be able to do this. I should be able to do that. So as a man, your definition, kind of tying into the label again too, your definition about what your ability is comes from those shoulds. I should be able to do this. I should be able to go and do that. I should be able to take on this responsibility. I should be able to manage all this stress. I should be able to stand up and handle somebody passing away without flinching. I should be able to navigate a relationship with no problem. I should. It just goes on repeat. And before you know it, you living in that life of like a should person instead of like a present person. Somebody that's just there and focused and open and honest and present fully. Not worrying about what you should or shouldn't be, knowing that you showing up as yourself is enough, So that's another one. And then lastly, we get to the idea of like that complex around all or nothing type of thing. It's almost like because one part is wrong, then the whole thing is wrong. Because one part of you isn't together, then the whole thing isn't together. And then this is when we get to this self-doubt, this feeling like we're less of a man because of this and things like when that's not the case. Like there is no one's perfect. Number one, the perfection doesn't exist. Like let's just throw that the way, throw that out the window. But even past the perfection not existing, there's the idea that you should be able to navigate experiences, navigate mishaps, navigate mistakes like everyone else. It's okay. It's just okay. So those are my top three. Okay. Those are the ones.
Love it. Y'all, this is really, really good. If you want to contribute to the effort that is Men's Mental Health Month, please share this live. If you could please share this live to your page, to your groups, that would be great so that men can be enlightened, so that we can have our men around longer. Especially if you're married, you're probably going to want your man to stay around at least as long as you. So why don't you share this live so that this information can be conveyed to them in a non-threatening way to where they can begin to embrace the process of health and wellness. Please share. Thank you very much. So as a therapist, men that may be dealing with these distortions, what might you work on with them in their sessions?
Okay, so boom. My favorite thing when we're talking about distortions is for us to work on what it looks like to take inventory. And what I mean by inventory is the thing about distortions is that they are distortions. It's like distorted thinking. So you have to come and go through and figure out what the facts are around some of the whatever narrative you're playing in your head about who you are and what that is. So that can come in a couple ways. One of my favorite ways is thought records. Okay, that's like you.
I love them.
Because Dominique put me on. She has sent it to me, and now I know how to use them. And it is my favorite.
My clients love, especially my men. My men love those things.
It's a thing. Get you where you need to go. So one of the first ones is a thought record, and it helps you basically do that. Record your thought, break it down, and then you can come up with some new conclusions. If you're interested in how to do this and want to learn how to process it, slide on over to Yellowbird, and we can get you get you some help. Okay, so we can do that for you. Okay, so that's the first one. Another one, I think we sleep on these a little bit, but it's gratitude list. And gratitude list in the sense of not just thankful of everything around you, but thankful for the stuff that you've already done. Kind of like going through, okay, like what have I accomplished? What has gone right? What is going well for me? Because that can help you change the perspective and then help you with some of these distortions that you may be dealing with. So, and you want to be typically with mental health, even when it comes to therapy, it's not that there's nothing wrong with you. Nothing wrong with you. We are creating a almost like a storehouse of tools and coping mechanisms so that when things happen, because life be life and stuff is gonna happen, you'll be prepared to deal with it.
People be peopling.
They be peopling all the time. So when it pops up, you'll have these things in order already to kind of help you get through what you need to get through. So that's what this type of stuff is for. And so things like gratitude lists and thought records are things you can have as preventative measures when stuff starts to pop up. And my last one, which is actually a more recent one, I was doing some research on just distortions and how to deal with them, and the one about personalization. And revisiting the idea about what you can and can't control. So it's this diagram that's like a control circle. On the inside, you put in what you can control about the situation, but on the outside, you identify all the things that you can't, and it kind of helps you really look at the big picture of things. Like, okay, well, this is what I am in control of, and I can lean into this stuff. I can work on this, as opposed to me focusing on all these other factors that I really don't have any control over. And so the result after going through some of those processes is a person who's more self-aware, a person who knows how to break down negative thoughts, and then a person who is also present enough to see what is in their control and what isn't, and probably can live a lighter and more stress-free life, like a freer life in there as far as like their mental health is concerned. So that's what we do.
And for those of you that are like, I don't need no therapist to tell me that I need to write something down on some paper and put it in a circle. Yeah, I can do that myself. Okay, do it yourself. And if it works, great. You don't need us. But if it doesn't work, come to us for the rest of the pieces. How about that?
How about that? How about that? Catch me on Yellow Bird. How about that? Catch me on Yellow Bird. A Yellow Bird. How about that?
We can help you. We'll give you the rest of the pieces and you'll just be living it out. Because that actually, what she named, those are 3 different, could be even 6 different sessions. To be honest with you, to fully process those things to a level where you're able to make positive change in regards to it. Because some people don't even know how to do those. They may not, even if you, there's some people that wouldn't even know what to put on the paper. There are those people, because I have clients every day tell me they don't know what boundaries look like, men and women, young and old. And so we have to sit down and really put into words what are boundaries for them, because some people have not had that type of structure in their life. So it's a foreign idea. So therapy is probably a foreign idea, and the activities of it are probably foreign. But I'm telling you, the ones that, the men that I have on my caseload that do these activities, they really they are able to look back just over the time they've been in therapy, and they're the ones that express the most, like, man, I'm so glad I started therapy. Man, I'm so glad, this is what it's done for me. I've been able to do this, and I've been able to do that. I've been able to be more creative. I've been able to make more money, just because they're in a more stabilized and realistic place of being and living. So definitely go ahead, get you a sheet, do it at home if you want to do it at home. But if you like, that didn't help me, well then, because there's more pieces than just doing the sheet, so you'll need to come. And I'll go on ahead and post the number for y'all and exactly what you need to do in order to reach us, while Shekinah tells us maybe some self-care activities that are good for men to regularly engage in.
Okay, so boom. Number 1, all right, is basic physical activity. What does basic physical activity look like? It could look like anything. If you like to dance, it's dancing. If you like to play basketball, it's playing basketball. If you bowl, it's bowling. If you golf, it's golfing. If it's you taking your dog for a walk, walking around the block, doing whatever physical activity there is. There's something very powerful about the endorphins that come from the exercises you do, and how it can just help you regulate all types of things on your insides, down from clearing your head to whatever the case may be. So you want to make sure that you're consistently doing some type of physical activity, right? Number 2, whether you realize it or not, water is helpful. I know we kind of shun water or whatever the case, but you need water. Drink your water. The reason why you should drink your water is because it helps hydrate all of your systems, including your brain. Okay. If it can't work properly if it doesn't have the proper nutrients. Proper nutrients comes from water, so you need to drink as much water as possible. Regular exercise, drink your water. The next thing that you can do is make sure that you're allowing yourself to take time to yourself. That can look like a simple stop, check, and reflect. Checking in with your day or throughout your day is more powerful than we realize. Stopping what you're doing for a second, checking your heart rate, checking how you feeling today. Is anything on you aching? Just a smooth little body scan, top to bottom. You see what I'm saying? Then after that, reflect. All right, so what's going on that's making me feel bad if I am feeling bad? What's making me feel good? How can I do more of that? Little check-ins throughout the day can really help us improve. And once you do those check-ins, you can kind of see what area of self-care you might need. Let's say you I don't know how many people, this probably happens to a lot of y'all. It happens to me. I'm sure it happens to Dominique. It happens to everyone. before you know it, it's like 12:30, 1 o'clock. You haven't eaten anything. You want to know why? Because you check in with yourself. Like, did you eat something today, Dominique? Look how you looking. Did you have food? They have food today. It gets real. It gets real. But little things like that, like you don't even know what you need unless you check in with yourself. So check-ins are very, very super duper important. So regular activity, physical activity, drinking your water, regular check-ins. Then the last thing I want to talk about is community. 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 Your therapeutic process is about, when we talk about the healing process and everything like that, we talk about your mental health in general. Being with your professional, that's like every 2 weeks, a week, once, however you do it, right? But that's like one part of it. But the other 80% is your day in and day out. It's what you do every day, right? And that includes your community. Identify the people. When we talked about that stop, check, and reflect, let's say one day you feeling real low and you look around and you realize it's a homeboy, friend, somebody you're talking to, somebody that's calling you, something you've been listening to, that's adding to why you're feeling the way you're feeling. You never realize how important your environment is to your overall mental health, right? So one of the highest forms of self-care is that boundary setting and that separating yourself from spaces that aren't adding value and aren't empowering you and aren't making you feel good about yourself. You got to check that. So those are my 4. Physical self-care, drinking your water, checking in with yourself, and checking your community. And I think that once you get to that, that's like those first steps. And then if you realize there's some massive holes in one of those areas, or some issues that you're extremely facing in one of those areas, you know what you could do? Catch us at Yellow Bird. That's what you could do. Slide on over. Somebody will be able to assist you. You can.
Text the word new to the number below and we can get you set up. That's all you got to do. Just text the word new, or text this to your friend and tell them to text the word new. You can also share this live as your contribution to Men's Mental Health, or Men's Health Month. Our focus is men's mental health, but definitely please share this live, because there's a man on your page and your groups that could be improving on his mental health, and maybe he never even thought about how to go about that or even realized that he needed to. So as your contribution to somebody who wants to, one, break the stigma surrounding mental health and wellness and mental illness, please do share this to normalize the process of therapy as part of a man's wellness journey. Okay, as just as much as his physical health, his intellectual health, his social health, his spiritual health, all of that.
Yes.
Yeah, share this live or tell them to text the word new, or do both. Share this live and tell them to text the word new.
The whole thing.
Do the whole thing.
I do also want to add, you guys, too, Father's Day is this weekend, okay? What better gift for Father's Day than the gift of therapy, okay? Not only that, if you think about what we want to do as far as like changing our culture and influences and things like that, it starts with you sharing this information, okay? Each one teach one, all right? If you went and it worked for you, that's another thing too. If you know it worked for you, if you went through the process, stuff like that, word of mouth is the biggest influence. Like that is really, you're more likely to do and engage in something if somebody tells you about it. So share.
Absolutely. And Marlicia had a real good question. She said, in a relationship, how can you help your mate nurture his self-care and encourage him to address his mental health without him becoming offended?
That is an awesome question.
Mm-hmm.
Really awesome question.
Mm-hmm.
But I think one of the biggest things is that idea around Carl Rogers is one of my favorite people ever in the whole entire world. A lot of my person-centered, I'm super person-centered, and he is like his concepts are the reason why. But one of the things he talks about is unconditional acceptance of self and then unconditional acceptance of others. And that's where healing typically can take place, right? So in whatever space you can, sometimes you can suggest or open the door for something, but nobody can do anything unless they're ready. Like even if they could come to therapy, but if they're not prepared for it, that's a whole other thing. So what my open suggestion would be is for you to then be open to whenever their opportunity comes for them to come to you and talk to you about what their needs are, and then slide that in as you see fit. You have a relationship with that person. You have an understanding about who they are and what that looks like. And you want to make sure that you're allowing them the freedom to come to say what they need and for you to open the door to make a suggestion. But then after that, it should only be a suggestion. We shouldn't force anybody to do anything or anything that they want. You kind of just plant the seed and water it and help it grow.
Right.
What do you think, Dominique?
Well, I was going to go back to what you said earlier. If you're in therapy, you need to share your experience. Let people see how it is actually bettering you as a person. Implement what you're doing, what your therapist is telling you to do in between each session, so that your life can be better, that you can look better, feel better, think better, speak better, communicate better. They're going to want to have that type of wellness. It's to see somebody that's healthy, you want to know how they got that way. So if you live out your experience in therapy, then that example is going to be one of the best ways to encourage someone. So yes, definitely. But and two, like, y'all can share this live. This is a very passive way, because you probably have more than just whatever man you want to see it on your page. So you could be talking to him, you could not. You could be talking to his sister who needs to give it to her husband, because y'all is all friends on Facebook. So just go on ahead and share the live, and there you go. That is a very non-threatening way to spread information to someone and encourage them, because a lot of the ways that we focus on sharing things when we do these lives is so that anybody can get it and understand it. We don't try to talk above nobody's head. We talk to y'all like y'all are humans, and you're having a very real human experience, and there's nothing wrong with that. So maybe if a person hears it from that perspective, they can let their guard down. So yes, share the live. Lakira, you got a challenge today. That's all I'm gonna say. She knows what I mean. So some other things too that maybe men haven't considered is journaling. I say that for anybody, journaling to brain dump, because a lot of times anxiety that builds up in us starts with what's going on in our head. So if we just keep it jumbled up in our head and don't ever get it out, either by writing it out, doing a video blog, talking to somebody, getting those thoughts out, it's going to build up and cause problems. It's going to cause you to have anger issues. It's going to cause you to not know how to communicate. It's going to cause you to be avoidant. It's going to just cause you to, it's going to be to your deficit to not get that stuff out. So journaling, Shekinah said, doing gratitude, expressing gratitudes, also affirmations of yourself, like, the positive, like she was saying, the positive parts of yourself, like acknowledging what those things are, and acknowledging that it is, for men in this regard, it is okay for me to take care of myself. I will be a better man if I take care of myself.
Yeah.
That's a good affirmation to start with if you're not sure where to start. You say that to yourself every day.
That's awesome.
Start there. And a lot of my clients use these adaptogens. So like ashwagandha, St. John's worts, different supplements and vitamins that you may need to increase or decrease things. So that's something that we talk about a lot, because a lot of people don't want to be taking medication. And that's what I want you men to overcome, the idea of thinking that therapy automatically means medication. Most people that come to us don't need medication. Most of the clients that we see do not take or need medication. So I'm going to leave that there and text the word new. A lot of them, in fact, half of them at least, probably come to us solely for just counseling. They're not even coming to us for therapy. Therapy is what we do with people that do have a mental diagnosis. Counseling is what we do for people that don't have a mental diagnosis. So a lot of the people that come to us don't even have a mental diagnosis. They just need help with life goals and how to set boundaries and how to communicate, things that we all need as humans that maybe we didn't get in our earlier stages of development because maybe somebody didn't know how to give it to us. So that's what we do. And then you go on about your life. So, and even if you start off coming to us for therapy, a lot of times because you do what you need to do to manage your mental illness, it moves to counseling anyway. Then you're just coming to us for counseling. So I'm going to leave that there, and you can just text the word new for more information. Awesome. Well, good. I love this. This is great. I hope y'all shared. I hope y'all did. And I hope y'all like my shirt. This is one of my shirts for therapy people. Ethical but unorthodox. Yeah. You can go to yellowbirdcounseling.com and get you one. Go to yellowbirdcounseling.com and get you one. We'll have a new line of shirts coming out that I've been working on. But go over there and check out the swag shop or the YBC brand. We're in the process of changing it to the YBC brand, but it may still say the swag shop. So go in there and look around and see what mental health statements you can make with your chest. And then also you can email us there too for consultation requests, free consultation requests, making appointments, checking out the therapy team to see what kind of therapists we have and what they do, and videos like these with the therapist on it so you can see the person. Go to yellowbirdcounseling.com. You really could just start Googling Yellowbird, and it should pop up. So you can do that. Yeah. Well, Shekinah, this was great. Do you have any last things that you would like to tell our men or tell our people that have men in their life?
You don't have to be a rock. And you don't have to be a caveman. And you don't have to be Superman. You don't have to be anybody's savior. You don't have to have it all together. You just have to be. That's it. You just have to be. And that is when you will be the best version and the most assistance to everyone else, is when you free yourself and you just be. And if you want to get there, you can slide to Yellowbird Counseling so we can assist you in that process.
I love that. That was great. I'm not even a man, and I felt that. I was like, I don't gotta be a rock. I don't gotta be a caveman. I was like, oh, wow, y'all, I'm going to replay that. That was nice. And see, and that is that, like, we as our therapy team is very assuring of all of our clients. And so that's how we talk to them. We tell them those things to bring them like realistic relief. Like, this is reality relief, not some fantasy. We'll give you reality relief. So to remind you that these expectations for you to be superhuman are not real and not fair and not attainable, you can be free to be human then. You can be free to need help. You can be free to be proactive about your health and wellness. You can be free to make mistakes and do what you need to do to not make them again, which is learn. And that may mean you need somebody to teach you, like a therapist. So you could text the word new to the number below and we will set you up with one. Yeah. So different things like that. So yes, I felt that. Y'all share this and tell those men to put that on repeat, and they can write that down. They don't have to be a rock. They don't have to be a caveman. They can just exist. They don't have to be a savior, Superman. None of that. A robot, none of that.
You don't.
None of it.
None
of it. I was looking at our comments to make sure. Marlicia says, thank you both so much for putting these tips in my toolbox. Already shared several places. Thank you.
Thank you.
And then Chloe says, hey, ladies, you know most men are watching basketball this evening. So they can watch it later. This is our replay. So if you go on ahead and share it, yeah, they can just replay it. This is just the time that we do it. But if you are women here and you aren't watching the game, or even if you are women watching the game, share it. And then it's there for when they get done watching the game. It'll be cool. Awesome. But thank you for that. Thank you. All right. So now, if you know, you know. Uh-oh, I switched it. Okay. So if you know, you know. Y'all can also ask questions in the comments while I share this if you have questions. But if you came in here and you did the thing, if you got the text in the group community text and you came on the live, you did the 2 things that you were supposed to do after you came on the live, or if you are in the Yellowbird Counseling newsletter, which if you're not, you can go to yellowbirdcounseling.com and subscribe. All you do is put your name and your email address in and you'll be subscribed. That'll be it. You'll get our monthly newsletters that tell you what groups we'll be doing, what discounts we'll be having, when I'll have openings for people on my caseload, because I haven't taken anybody in about 2 years. It'll tell you how to get in our text community. It'll tell you what events we'll be doing. It'll have different partnerships that we have. We just partnered with a new psychiatrist for people that need psychiatry. So we have a lot of things that we offer that you can know completely about outside of our website. Yeah. So, look here, girl, I don't know. Folks give you a run for your money because tonight is the $100 Cash App giveaway. Usually, Lakira wins every time. She has won so many times from us. So many. So we're about to see, because we got people that know if they know. So as I call your name out, and you have to be present to win, because you got to let us know that you're here. But let's see. I'm going to give you a number, and then you remember that number, okay? I know, right? She said yes, Yellowbird community. Good. Awesome. Isn't it great? And then Lloyd says, thank you, ladies. I needed this today. Good. Yay. Okay, so Lakira, you're going to be 1. Lloyd said, catch me outside. Marlicia, you'll be 2. Marlicia will be 2. Danielle, you'll be 3. Chloe, you'll be 4. And Whitney Brooks, you'll be 5. Cool. Awesome. So what we're going to do is I'm going to share my screen, because I don't like nobody to say I'm capping. I don't like nobody to say I chose no favorites.
No kidding.
I don't do that. So I'm going to, let's see. I'm going to share my screen. Share it. Hold on. Okay, I gotta, oh gosh, I didn't mean to share the whole thing. Dang, y'all ignore it. Dang. Okay, unshare. I'm gonna get it together. I promise. Okay, we have 5. All right, so let me first open a new tab. Let's start there, because I gotta start all the way at the beginning so y'all know it's not rigged. Okay, because people think you be rigging stuff, and I'm not really trying to do all that. So now I'm gonna share my screen. Well, actually, okay, hold on, share screen. Okay, that, share tab, new tab. Boom, okay, share new tab. There we go. All right, so we're going to do the number generator, and I'm going to do the wheel. Ooh, let's see, number, it's a number generator wheel. Okay, let's go get it. Let's pull it up. I do it like this so y'all know it's not rigged. So the minimum amount of people is 1. The maximum amount of people is 5. That's why I told you keep up with your number. And then we're gonna click spin. Who's gonna get it? I don't know. on the line. How did they know?
That's wild.
How did they know? It's number 3. It's like barely there. It's number 3. Who's number 3? Who won? Who got it?
Uh-oh.
Who got it? Let's see. Number 3.
Where you at? Where you at? Where you
That
at?
gotta be in here. Or I'll spin it again. Let's see. She said that's number 4. Danielle! Woo! I think Danielle was one before. Yeah. I'm going to verify it. I'm sure it is her. Yep. Because I know how I counted it. Lakira was 1. Yep. She is. Congratulations, Danielle. Y'all give her hearts and stuff. Woo! Right now, because y'all know I don't cap.
No.
At all. I don't cap. I don't want nobody to be like, she don't really send that, buddy. I show it right to us. Yes, I do. I'm going to send this $100 and I do it and you get it right in time for the weekend. So you have all your weekend money to ball out.
Guys, happy Juneteenth.
Happy Juneteenth. You don't got to use nothing from your paycheck. You can use this $100 if you want it. Let me see. I got to get it. I'm going to show y'all when I send it to Danielle and she can say she got it. Woohoo! Okay, I'm gonna say congratulations from Yellowbird Counseling, and then of course the 3 yellow hearts. Yes. Yes! She got it. She got
money.
Hey, you know what? I need a little. Can I borrow like 20 about you?
Yeah, $2.
Let me get
$2.
Yeah, 2 will be good. I could, I could work with 2.
I could do a lot with $2.
I could maybe just 2. If you got 2 additional dollars, you can send back. I'll take them. All right. So thank you so much, Shekinah, for joining us for yet another episode of Yellowbird Counseling, Brace the Stigma of Mental Health for All.
Gang, gang.
What a long name. So y'all can join us every Thursday evening at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, which is 9 p.m. Eastern, which is 6 p.m. Pacific. And we discuss different mental health topics that the general population can relate to outside of having a mental illness as to reasons that we could all benefit from therapy. So this month we're going to be doing men's health, and we have 2 more of our Yellowbird team that will be joining us for the last couple of weeks, so you don't want to miss it. These are very great topics. And also, too, if you want the opportunity for the $100 Cash App giveaway, you can text new to the number below, or you can go to yellowbirdcounseling.com and subscribe to the newsletter, and you can also do both. Please share this live, share, and we will see you guys next week.
Peace.
Bye. Cool.